Okay, so we can debate on this. Do you think the Bible espouses truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so was it morally true or justified or completely fine when God commanded slavery and genocide?
Yes, I
Okay,
do not, as a human, understand it. It's beyond my comprehension. It is against my morality, but I believe if it was God's deed, it was 100% good.
okay. So enslaving kids, raping kids, this is fine?
Again, if it was God's deed, it's 100% truth.
So what
Truth,
about the
truth.
part where God said that these things are not fine? Can God contradict himself?
Uh, that is an object, uh, sorry, subject that I I'm not like familiar with, but I don't think God can deny himself. Is that possible?
Well, if God can't contradict himself, then explain the blatant contradiction. He verbatim said that enslaving in this case is perfectly fine to do, but enslaving in another case is not fine to do.
If God performs an act, it's all good.
Yeah, then this isn't objective morality, then this is just arbitrary. God could say, like, raping children is completely fine, and as long as God
Well,
said it, it's
objective
good.
morality cannot exist without God. We
Well,
need to
again,
know that.
this isn't objective
So
morality.
he can, I think he can kind of uh do something against his own, and it makes another kind of conversation if you really think
So
about it.
God can contradict himself.
Yes, I do believe so.
You believe that God can contradict himself, so he can do
And
logically impossible things.
yes, but
Okay, then he's a
I'm gonna add
nonsensical
something to
being.
that.
Well, this is the equivalent of him not existing. A nonsense, like an all-powerful, all-good, omniscient God can't contradict himself. That logically is impossible.
I'm gonna add this. If you look at Bible on morality, right? We have something there. Is it okay if I read it to you?
Well, nothing you've said thus far has addressed my point.
No, no. I'm making a point myself.
Yeah, but I need you to address my point. If your point is just irrelevant to the thing I'm saying, and I'm just going to repeat the exact same point, and you can't address it.
Well, you said God is a nonsensical being. Is that what you
Well,
said?
we have a being who is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent. This being, by definition, can't contradict himself. Otherwise, he wouldn't be omniscient.
Well, who says so?
Say what?
Who says so? The
What
thing that
omniscient
you
and
just said.
omnipotent and omnibenevolent means. That's the definition of the word. By definition, God can't contradict
I
himself.
know.
Otherwise, he'd be a logically impossible being.
Well, God again is against impossible. You can't say something is impossible for God.
Well,
The
you can't.
definition that you just explained comes from God.
God can only do logically possible things. He can't contradict himself. That's not logically possible. And also, it also says in the Bible that God remains the same once. And he also says that he himself does not change. So if he literally says that slavery is fine in one case but not fine in the other case, that's literally a change. This is also a contradiction. God can't
Well,
contradict himself.
uh, can you tell me the story behind the thing that you're saying, slavery, enslaving kids and raping them?
Yeah,
Where's that from? I actually don't know.
yeah. So it's Deuteronomy 2010.
Mind giving me a second? I need to look it up.
When you march up to attack a city and make its people an offer of peace, if they accept and open their gates, all the people in it shall be subject to forced labor and shall work for you. If they refuse to make peace and engage you in battle, lay siege to that city. When their Lord your God delivers into your hand, put to the sword all men in it. As for the women, the children, the livestock, and everything else in the city, you may take these as plunder for yourselves, and you may use the plunder the Lord your God gives you from your enemies.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, and
Well,
enslaving
all my
children.
life I learned that all the things that you just list goes against morality. But
Well, this is direct commands from God.
yeah, yeah,
So, So God is doing against morality. So God is doing something bad.
Well, I mean, sounds like a little stubborn, but I also yet believe that if he does something, it is 100% has a cause behind it, and it's good.
Yeah, so again, as long as God said it's okay to rape children, then raping children is good.
I believe
What
so.
the fuck?
You believe so. Okay, so then this isn't
Yes.
objective morality, this is arbitrary morality. Literally any single thing that I can possibly think of can be justified as long as God said so.
Yeah,
Well,
That's
that's
not
objective
morality.
morality is for humans, not for God.
Well, like, so again, so it's
The
rules,
whole definition of morality can change if God just right now,
but
like,
God said
summoned
himself,
Jesus
but that
Christ
doesn't
and
make any
talked to us.
sense. But that doesn't make any sense because God himself said he doesn't change. You just said he can change.
Well, I mean, that's the word of God, but it can't
But the
change. He
word of
can do it
God
if he wanted
verbatim,
to.
he said himself that he doesn't change, and you just said he can and
I
does.
know.
So this
If he
contradicts. This
wanted,
doesn't make any
he is
sense.
absolute.
If he's absolute, then he can't change. That makes no sense.
I mean, you can think of a dictator as absolute. He can change his
It
opinion, you know?
verbatim says God does not change. I can even read you the verse. He said himself he does not change, right? But you just
No,
said
that
he
is
can and
true.
he
I've
does.
read the same thing.
Sure, but then you also say here that God said at one point that enslaving people was perfectly fine, and God said at another point that it's not perfectly fine. That's literally a change.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Because that big of a plot hole cannot exist. Me, myself, I never read the Bible fully.
I
I
know,
just
most
grew up
Christians don't.
reading it. I never read it fully.
I know, most
I
Christians
think
don't.
that big of a plot hole cannot exist in a holy book around
But I
these
just,
years.
but I
I
just
think
gave it
we're
to
missing
you.
context.
I
Because
just,
you can't say, you
I,
can't tell me
I
that
can give
God
you the
said,
context.
all right,
Yeah,
I
so
would appreciate it if
yeah,
you don't
so
talk about
so the Canaanites, so the Canaanites and the Amalekites. Well, you're saying something we don't know the context, but I can literally give it to you. So you're just saying something
No, no, no,
wrong.
no, no. I'm not saying the story that you're saying doesn't exist. I'm not being stubborn. I'm saying if God said enslaving kids, raping kids, or anything like that is wrong, then he does it himself in the same book. What is this? Like a 2000 fucking advertising show for Amazon? It can't. That big of a plot hole cannot exist in the Holy Book.
But I just told you it does exist. You just denying it
Yes, and
doesn't make it any
I'm
less real.
saying, no, I'm not denying it. I'm saying the exact same thing you said exists, but the cause behind it is what is we're missing. There has to be a context that we're missing. I'm not saying you can't
I
just
can
say,
literally
oh,
tell
well,
you the
this exists. I
context.
just
I can literally tell you the context if you stop
you
talking.
read me like a true
I
line.
can verbatim
Do you
tell you the context right now if you
all
stop
right?
talking. Okay, cool. So the
Read me the
context
whole
is that
story.
God wanted to give the Israelite people the Holy Land, but the Canaanites and the Amalekites, well the Canaanites in particular, were inhabiting the Holy Land, so he instructed the Israelites to slaughter and enslave them to rid them from the Holy Land in regards to the Canaanites. In regards to the Amalekites, the context for their slaughter is that 500 years ago they had fought a war against the Israelites that they ended up losing, by the way, and then 500 years later God proceeds to punish their great grandchildren and so the issue with this is that God literally says that the sins of your fathers and forefathers, mothers and foremothers, are you're not going to be punished for them. But he contradicts himself again here when he goes ahead and punishes the Amalekites for the sins of their forefathers and foremothers, right? So again, we have two blatant contradictions here. We have the Canaanites who are just minding their own business, and then they get slaughtered by the Israelites, instructed to by God, right? Murder, genocide, slaving, and plundering of innocent children, little girls, little boys, animals, cows, donkeys, sheep, children. And you're saying that this is completely fine because God said so. That's ridiculous. That doesn't sound like morality to me. That is enslaving kids, using them, raping them. That doesn't bashing babies on the curb. That doesn't sound like morality. That doesn't sound good to me. This is the God that you worship, by the way. You think this is the God that you worship, the God that tells the Israelites to take babies and slam them on the curb, enslave them, leave alive nothing that breathes, put to the sword all men, women, and children. This is good to you. For babies? For babies?
Hell exists.
We're not talking about hell. Hold on, no, I need you to listen. We're not talking about hell. I need you to address my point. We're talking about bashing babies' heads on curbs.
That is punishment.
For what?
Well, great grandfather.
But God said that you're not going to be punished for that, and he contradicted himself. He lied.
You lied.
I have a verse here where he says that you don't get punished for the sins of other people. Okay, so he lied then.
Yeah. You gotta be there, brother.
That doesn't address anything I said. Come on, bro. That doesn't address anything I just said.
I know. No.
So you don't have an argument. You're just saying stuff now.
I mean, you don't even let me talk.
I mean, I've let you speak, but you're just saying you got to be there, bro. Come on now. Come on. Let's be mature here. That doesn't address anything I just said, bro.
All right. I'm not educated enough.
I know. Most Christians aren't.
Argument on this matter. Yes,
I know. Most Christians aren't.
100% true.
Most Christians aren't. I know. Most Christians actually don't read the Bible. I know.
If I read the Bible, the argument here didn't even exist.
Yeah, so all you're doing here is just telling me you don't have an argument. That's fine.
Well, I appreciate you for enlightening me.
Okay, so you don't have an argument then. So that's concession then.
Huh? You twisted my arm, brother.
Okay, well, GG's.
Yes. I appreciate the argument, though.
Enemy contact.
Did not know that.
Most Christians don't read the Bible. Like,